I'll have to be honest with you. First thing I'm going to mention right up front is it's free. I like this service when it's free because, you know, you can tie up a lot of money in different services, and from experience I found out that sometimes you can pay a lot of money and you may not be getting that much out of it.
Good afternoon, welcome to GrainTV. My name is Cody Bills. Today is Thursday the 24th. We had grains trading higher here today, with corn trading up 10.5 cents, soybeans up 19 3/4, and wheat in Chicago trading up 14.5 cents today. Now, there's a couple things that people are talking about. First of all is that it is exceptionally wet out there, and another storm blew through the Midwest last night, dropping as much as 7 inches of rain throughout parts of Iowa, throughout parts of Missouri. And what that means, particularly for Missouri, is the fact that it's way behind pace to get its soybeans into the ground, and it's unlikely that it'll be able to catch up and get much planted here by the next crop progress report. With the rain the way it is, there is still concern that next week on Monday, when the crop conditions report comes out, that we could see further reduction in the good to excellent ratings there for corn and for soybeans. So those are both important parts. That, I think, helped trigger some short covering. That was a catalyst, in my opinion. I don't believe it is a fundamental reason right now to really rocket this market higher, but I think considering the market is kind of a mousetrap right now, in the sense that on Tuesday we have the planted acreage report coming out, and there could be some surprises in there, considering the fact that the planting progress for soybeans is running behind pace right now. 90% planted compared to 95% planted here normally. I think the fact that we have that sort of a situation, the fact that we have a majority of short positions here in corn, soybeans, and wheat, it leads the market into this situation where you get a little bit of short covering as people prepare for this report that will be coming out here on Tuesday. So in my opinion, I think we are experiencing some short covering, but it is triggered by some of these fundamental situations, the precipitation that we have, the excess moisture that we have, causing a little bit of concerns here for overall crop quality. We did get export sales out this morning. You'll notice corn came out lower than analysts expected. Analysts were expecting anywhere between 500 to 700,000 metric tons. What we got was 496, so it wasn't off by much, but it was down week over week and a little bit disappointing. For soybeans, we had 118,000 metric tons for old crop sales. I still consider that a win here, considering we are at the very end of the marketing season for soybeans, or at least the time period when we typically see sales start to slow, and yet we continue to get good export sales here for soybeans. So that was very positive. And wheat coming out here with 434,000 metric tons. That was in line, even on the high side of analyst expectations. When you look at new crop sales, you'll notice corn came out positive here, 297,000 metric tons. That was above the 100 to 200,000 metric tons expected by the market. So good job for corn new crop there. And soybeans came in within analyst expectations, on the low side of the range, but still decent sales here, 202,000 metric tons. Now, when you look at the overall cumulative export sales, you'll notice corn in general, even taking into account the revisions in the WASDE report last month, we are still 45.1 million metric tons sold compared to last year, which is 46.9. So we are behind pace of last year, but we're ahead of the pace needed to meet the existing USDA projections, and that pace right now would be around 44 million metric tons. So we're at 45.1, so there's no concerns right now that we won't be able to meet expectations. In fact, we're running a little bit ahead of pace here for corn. When you take a look at soybeans, you'll notice that we have 50.5 million metric tons sold. Now, this is ahead of last year, and it's also ahead of the pace that's needed to meet USDA expectations. Right now, the pace needed during this week is 48.6. We're at 50.5 million metric tons, so still we're ahead of pace. Very strong soybean demand here for old crop, and this continues to help strengthen the soybean market, helps provide some support here. When you get this sort of strong old crop demand, and you also have a situation here where new crop acres are now in question, and we'll learn more about that on Tuesday, and we're concerned about about yield now because of the heavy rains that have gone through the Midwest and more that's on the way. This is all providing a little bit of a catalyst here to cover some short positions going into the Tuesday report next week. Guys, that pretty much wraps up today's show. If you have any questions about what we talked about today, please give the office a call. The number is 877-472-4607. If you haven't done so already and you'd like to have live quotes for that market report that's coming out on Tuesday, please go to grainhedge.com, go in the top right-hand corner, click on that 14-day free trial, put in your name and number, we'll get in touch with you and make sure you get the most out of that trial and that GrainHedge demo. Thanks a lot for tuning in. We'll see you here Friday for the weekly wrap-up.